Cyclone Gelena has been intensifying today as it moves slowly beyond Mauritius. The threat is now over there, but it is a Category 4 on the Saffir Simpson scale now. 140 mile-an-hour winds, that is around 240 kilometers per hour, with a pressure of around 944. This is the CDPS scale. You can see how things are looking. It's a stage 5 on the CDPS. It's probably not going to be a particularly wet storm, but it could deliver hurricane force winds to the island of Rodrigues overnight tonight. It's getting pretty close for comfort. Already we could be seeing tropical storm force winds on the island, and they will pick up throughout the evening, overnight tonight as stated. At the moment 18.9 degrees south, 60.7 degrees east, 182 miles from Rodrigues. That's roughly 300 kilometers, a little less, and nothing else beyond it until Isle Amsterdam, which is way down in the subantarctic region. Class 3 warning in effect for Rodrigues at this time. That may even reach Class 4 overnight tonight or early tomorrow morning, depending on where exactly the storm goes. A few models saying different things. The HWRF, for instance, thinks they will get 60 mile-an-hour winds, 110 km/h winds. The GFS, I think, takes it a little bit closer, and looking at the latest track, it's a very close call as to whether the island gets the storm's eyewall or not. The difference being, if the eyewall misses, you're looking at winds of around 110 km/h sustained. If the eyewall does hit, it's just a matter of miles or kilometers of difference here. If the eyewall does hit, those winds will go right up into the mid 100s, possibly even towards 200 km/h gusts. So this is a serious situation. Sea surface temperatures are certainly warm enough to sustain this storm all the way until it passes Rodrigues, and that's not going to be too long because the storm is accelerating, picking up speed in forward motion, and it will pass very close to the island, possibly giving a direct hit tonight. GFS there, difficult to tell. It does look like they're giving it hurricane conditions overnight tonight as well. So models saying different things. It really is just a matter of a few miles as to whether the storm's eyewall hits or whether it misses. So it's going to be a very close one to watch tonight. It's likely to move just south of Rodrigues, and the HWRF that we were looking at earlier does take it south enough for it not to affect the area. So 96% chance of tropical storm force winds on the island of Rodrigues. All the other areas are now in the clear, which is thankful, at least for some of those other areas, Mauritius of course, but Rodrigues now is really the place of most concern. This is how the models look at this time. Pretty straightforward trend downward to come soon, but there could still be a possibility for further strengthening in the very short term. Wind shear is going to be on the rise in general. It's around moderate at this time, and you can see on those forecast tracks there, the storm could live on for quite a little while after it passes the island. Of course, nothing but open ocean ahead of Gelena. Here is the latest satellite imagery, and you can see, if you're well versed with this kind of imagery, how fast it is compared to the average. And it's quite easy to predict when you look at it there. It is moving in pretty much a straight line, and that line, if it did continue to follow that line, it would take it just south of Rodrigues, and I would say you'd probably get strong tropical storm force winds on the island if it continues on that same track. Nonetheless, you know, the best advice is to hunker down there on Rodrigues because it's going to be a very long night, and we'll have more updates throughout. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com. You can also find our YouTube channel. If you're not there already, you may well be. Good chance of that. Subscribe if you haven't. You can also find our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text, and our Twitter handle, it's @Force13 on there. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. Of course, you can come into direct contact with us by messaging Fool13 on Discord at extension 9094 and Force13 on Skype, and our partners are also doing updates, Mateo e Cyclone Maurice on Facebook.